Everybody hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up. You hear it? Okay, thanks, John. This is a mini civil AP. Want to tell you what we need to do and briefly, but to start off with, I really want to do a quick overview of the achievement program, the NMRA achievement program. Pretty much the first thing is if you got a layout or build a layout, you can go for what's called the golden spike. That's not an achievement program thing, but it is a stepping stone to the civil AP and the electrical AP, and they're joined together almost at the hips. And I'll talk a little bit about that on the thing. Okay, what do you get for all of this? Well, first of all, you get some peer recognition from the civil AP. Other people see it, can do it. Got a challenge, I can do it. Hey, dang. Improving modeling skills, that's kind of where it is. And oh, by the way, you get your name in a national publication. Whatever. Okay, so the whole purpose of this as a mini clinic is to kind of describe and demo what's needed for the model railroad civil certificate of achievement. And, oh, I just forgot something. I'm going to jump off for just a moment. Now we're back to the source information. Best place on this to get this is the nmra.org. And this is the way you get there, Education Achievement Program category civil. Now, I'm going to go over to that site and we're going to walk through that. Here's the NMRA site. We want to go to education. Pull that guy down, go to the achievement program. That'll pop that gun up. Then you go to the categories. That shows what that is. And now you can come down to the civil. This is where all of the information exists on that. Great information to see on the civil program. Okay, now we're going to jump back to this guy again. Biggest part of this thing is to read up on it. And you got to keep the thing simple. Okay, now what I talk about on the civil for getting it is what's called the form. This is a statement of qualifications. And there are 3 parts to the form, and we'll talk about that, and I'll give you some demo things as well. The first one is, and I don't know if you can see this, but this is are we getting there? A track plan in there. Okay, right there. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Then the next thing is to actually build a layout and do some of the things. And then we'll catch somebody else in that gets down here and making some stuff for the model. Okay, now we're going to go down through those in a little bit more detail. And we're going to still do this kind of briefly. The first one is to prepare a scale drawing. That's pretty easy, and I'm going to show you a couple of examples with it. The second one is to construct and demonstrate. This is kind of where you do the layout thing. And if this sounds like backwards, this is really where you get to the whole thing. And then you do 3 models for merit judging. There's a whole bunch of different options in all of these things in each one of these. Mainly thing is keep it simple. Choose the ones that are easiest for you. Okay, now I'm going to discuss the 3 categories a little bit more. This is the paperwork, goes along with a statement of qualifications. The scale drawing is construct and demonstrate, and to do the thing for merit. The original scale drawing has a requirement, and this is back, if you read the form on the nmra.org site, or this form that I just showed you, which is available on that thing too. Terminal facilities, mainline passing, 4 switching circuit, place to turn engines, and simultaneous operation of 2 trains. Remember, you don't have to build this, you just have to show it on the plan. Okay, now this is what I put in for part of that. The terminal facilities, let's see if I can get an arrow out. This is really kind of the whole terminal area. Place to turn engines, that's right there. That's a Y, and it could be a turntable. Remember, this is a drawing. Another one was a main line passing track. Well, there are two. There's one that runs down here on this side, another one that runs down on another part of that. This happens to be a drawing of my layout. The other thing is a bunch of, oops, I lost the arrow, is a bunch of switching locations. Here's one here, here's one here, here's one here, here's another one here. Then there is a thing, here's the whole yard thing, and I'm going to show you a little bit about that as we get into the next part of this. This is where you build some, and you choose some different parts of this. There are a number of things. First of all, you need a certain amount of feet of track, and it differs by scale. Here's, if you look at the form, it talks about all of these. Z, how much in Z, how many feet of track, and all of that sort of a thing. And then you need 6 examples for that. You build these kind of things. And this is all on the form of the 18. Remember I told you, pick the ones that are easiest to do. Okay, now, this is what I put out on the thing. This happens to be kind of a finished layout, pretty much of the thing. And here is kind of a demonstration of where these things are. There's a Y track back out over here. Here's the ladder track. Here's a switching. There are 2 switches here. Here is a crossover right here on this one. And it so happens that that drawing that I showed you right there, this is the same thing as what I'm just showing you right now. I happen to have used the drawing to build the layout. Anyway, okay, now the next part of that, told you I was going to jump through these quickly, are to build some models for thing. And again, this is a choose it. There's 14 different things you can do on there. All you have to do is build 3 of them for a merit. You have to get a merit certificate. And I'm going to show you some of the pieces of that. In this case, the ones that I used were a turnout, a crossover. You saw both of those in that picture a little while ago, and a crossing. Okay, what's the turnout look like? This is from Fast Tracks. Fast Tracks has a tremendous resource of scale drawings. And if you look at this thing down in the corner, if you print this thing out, this will match exactly, the 1 inch will match exactly to 1-to-1. That means that this is good. All of their drawings meet NMRA specs. So you've got a starting point right there. Okay, that's the turnout. And I built some 30 of these things, so with a jig, but the jig was inexpensive. Might be able to borrow one from somebody to do it. But again, this is just the ones that I built. Okay, then a crossover. You saw the crossover in the picture before, and all this is 2 left-hand turnouts. There's one left-hand turnout here. There's the other left-hand turnout here. Okay, and the other one was the crossing. And this again is a Fast Tracks drawing. These, by the way, are copyrighted. Again, here's the 1 inch thing here. You can build this thing to scale. And what I did is I basically built all of this stuff down there. And this is what it looks like. Now, this stuff on this is basically flex track on the other side of this, on each side. And then there's some more detailing that goes along with it. For all of these, all of these were submitted for a merit award and got that, and that qualifies you for the civil AP. Part of the other thing is a lot of the stuff for the civil is the wiring, and guess what? That really handles the electrical. So with that, are there any questions?